Good morning. Well, it's taken a long time. I think it's well over 3 years now, but we finally got some good news. We have a roofer booked. So May 5th, apparently, of course, depending on weather, etc., we're going to have a roofer come around to do the main roof above me there behind us. And he's going to be taking approximately 20 working days to get it done. He's going to do all of the zinc. He's going to do replacement of all the tiles, obviously, that are up there. He's going to be ripping out these weird clay tiles that are kind of the support tiles and replacing it with OSB. I think it's like a 12 mil OSB. Then he's putting down a membrane, and he's going to be putting down battens and counter battens. And then he's going to be putting down, basically they're called mechanical tiles, and they're tiles that similar to what you have in this area, which are the kind of the traditional Spanish look because we're so far south. And, doing that sort of good stuff. So he'll be putting scaffolding up in the front and scaffolding at the back. I'll try to do what I can to film it. We haven't really broached the subject of him being on YouTube yet. But worst case is I'll kind of come up at lunchtime when they take off and show you. And then at the end of the day, we'll kind of look around, snoop around and see what he's doing. I went up today, just a couple of hours ago, to take a little peek. And first of all, the window to get up there is like, I don't know, it's like a foot by foot. You have to squeeze up through this little window. And the window, there's like no hinge. The hinges are busted off it. I didn't even know. There's like one little chain holding it on. And then I went looking, and man, is that roof scary when you're up there. So even going, I was going to try to film a whole thing. I've decided not to because I was walking around there, and basically the tile started like sliding on me while I was up there. Like, okay, it's time to stop. But I basically went, and I was doing just going around on my hands and feet, so I looked like a bit of an idiot. So there's no point filming it. But the roof is not in good shape. I'll put it that way. And more importantly, the main window that's at the top of the stairs, we were wondering, when I was at home with my family or my mom at Christmas, Sam said it's raining down the stairwell. I'm like, what do you mean it's raining down the stairwell? And it only happened once. And we didn't really understand what caused it. And I went up there and I looked, you could see there's a little crack, just enough to get your fingers through on the glass that's at the top of the stairs. It's kind of like a wire reinforced old glass. And there's this weird metal cage on top that's holding the weight of the thing down. Anyway, so we weren't planning to do it right now, but after looking at it, it's like, no, we have to replace it. So we've been looking around. We're still researching. We're going to get kind of like a kit very similar to what we have up there, and that would allow me basically to do most of the installing of that window. So what I'm going to do is work with the roofer to facilitate me going up there. You basically put a frame around the bottom. It sits on top of the wood that's up there that makes kind of the where the hole is in the roof. And then he's going to zinc around all of it. They use zinc here. They don't use lead, and they don't really use aluminum. You can get it, but lead is more traditional. So we can't, or not lead, sorry. Zinc is more traditional, so we want to do that. So I'm going to add that into the mix, which is another expense that we weren't expecting. So that'll be like another probably $2,000-3,000 or euros. As for the price, we were a bit shocked when we went back. So for 3 years, we've been suing the real estate agent for basically lying to us. She said the roof was in good condition. And when we had our first solar panel people come over to look at the solar panels, they were like, I ain't going up there. It's not safe. And it certainly wouldn't hold solar panels. So anyways, we got a lawyer, and then basically they brought a specialist in, and the specialist said, no, that roof's too far gone. So we sued, and eventually we got a certain amount of money. We got about like 33K, which is not a lot for the price of the roof, considering we were kind of fighting to get some of our costs back for not having solar panels, stuff like that. So, but whatever, we got money. Doesn't cover all of it, but it certainly helps. So the prices we were given in this last round were a bit shocking. Some of them were as high as, well over 60,000 for the roof. So we weren't planning that. We were hoping somewhere in the range of 30 to 40. And we were planning to do the extension behind me and then maybe have them fix the garage roof, at least patch the holes up. So we've had to get rid of that. That's off the plan. We're not going to be doing those two sections. after looking at it and talking to a roofer, they've basically told me how to do it. I can do it. They say it's not that bad of shape, the extension. Just needs basically some zinc work and some repairing of tiles. And then eventually I will cut skylights or Velux windows in, a couple of them in, one in the main, in Sam's, what kids call it, workshop or hobby shop, and one in the sunroom. But that's going to get pushed back a bit more. We're going to see, because money's getting a bit tight right now. We're getting a lot of expenses that we weren't expecting. So anyways, you can take a look here. You can see around the chimneys, we're going to actually try to keep the chimneys. There's one that's like really bad. It's got like it's ridiculous. They just punched a hole through it and they ran like a television antenna cable down. We're going to remove the antennas that are on the roof because we don't really use that anymore. The ground-based ones, and if we did, we'd probably do something different, get a dish or something. I don't know, but we don't. We're pretty much all digital, and we're Netflix and stuff like that. So, and we don't speak good enough French to be watching local TV. So, and we can get everything online. Anyway, get rid of those, and then he's going to be zinking around the pigeonnery. He's going to replace the pigeonnery roof as well. What else is he doing? We're going to get new gutters on the front and back, which are going to also be zinc. But it was just crazy the variation in the prices for the roofers. So we ended up going through, I think, about 6 or 8 people coming around. The first time we did it, like 3 or 4. Yeah, so that's kind of the plan. So hopefully May 5th, we're going to start seeing some progress on that. The other thing that I've been doing is working on the garden a bit. I've put around about half a ton of dirt around all the garden beds just to kind of top it up with, it's like a better topsoil. It was super cheap. We took the trailer out and I just basically paid 15 euros and you get half a ton of dirt, which is pretty good. So hopefully that helps a little bit this year with retaining moisture and stuff like that. The other thing I'm doing is saving a lot of water. Those bins, after about 2 weeks, have probably about 7,000 liters in 2 weeks of rain. Hasn't rained that much, but there's been some rainy days. But yeah, so I've been up to that. I've also been in discussions with the air conditioning people. So we're going to put heat pumps in, going back and forth on whether we're going to put 3 exterior units in, or we're going to put 1 big one in. And then we're working out the routes for the copper pipes and stuff like that, because there's certain distances you can go. So I'm trying to find the best way to do that. And I've also been working with the electrician to kind of finalize all the electrical connections we'll be doing, or getting them ready for him to do the finaling on. So I don't have a lot to show because I've been doing all that kind of prep work. But hopefully in the next, actually tomorrow, I'm going to be starting to do the electrical work. Starting to chase walls, starting to take up floors, or at least in the hallways, taking up tiles and then kind of pulling them up and then popping a hole and feeding them over things. And yeah, it's going to be a big mess for the next few weeks. So we had a chance we could have started the roof in about 2 weeks. He said it would be better for us to start in May. He says less likely to have a problem with rain and he won't be delayed as much. So we're like, that's fine. He's going to do I think he's going to do his own, like other people's smaller roofs in the meantime, because we are, it's about a month project for him to do. So, but anyways, that's what we're doing. Making progress. Things are starting to click. We're finally getting movement on things. It doesn't look like it, but I think it's going to happen all at once. We're going to have like a roof done, and then we're going to have solar panels, and we're going to have the electrical in, and we're going to have all the heat pumps in, and but by that time it'll be probably like months all at once. It's going to happen. So, but anyways, wish me luck. Going to get back to doing some of the electrical stuff now, and yeah, if you're interested in seeing how the roof turns out, give us a subscribe and ring the bell or whatever they do, and give me a thumbs up if you like it. Anyways, wish me luck. Cheers.